You as a former governor, when you hear, it does look like a democratic drums of war in the sense that when the people are agitated, those who are the critical mass are saying they are hungry and they are going to march the street. In your own mind, what does this bring up? Is this the ineptitude of government, incapacity of the government, or what exactly do you think this could bring up?
Well, so thank you once again. And let me tell you again that I speak for myself. I speak for those who believe in my judgment and my opinion. And I stand here to say that before now, I have spoken for Nigerians. I have taken very hard positions that even cost me a lot in my life. But by God's grace, at over 60, we are statesmen. We will not look away and allow this country to go down. Already we're in critical situation, very critical. And let me give you an illustration. This illustration will help us very well. When an aircraft is to land, and at some point there's an emergency, there are certain levels that the aircraft wouldn't have gone for the aircraft to fly back, to climb back. Otherwise, the aircraft will crash. I pray Nigeria will not crash. With government and the protesters, let us exercise a lot of restraint. Nobody, well, I won't say nobody. At my time as governor of Ekiti, I was one of the vocal people that was able to put government in check. But there was no time I called out people to go and do the things that can bring the country down. One, we need to be very careful. We are in a critical stage of our life. One, it is unfortunate that things are not easy the way they are now. The economy is not the way it should be. And the situation with the ordinary man too is not easy. But let us ask ourselves, is this all about the government? No. In many places, a lot of people will take one way. Is that the government? A lot of people will go and form their own kidnapping. Is that government? When there is rain, people will take the things that they've gathered for the bin. They go and pour it inside the water, inside the rain. Is that government? We are all guilty. We should go back to the drawing board and readdress ourselves as a nation. Hunger didn't start one day. This hunger started long time. That was why they had a rally at the time. They said Jonathan must go. Jonathan left. That hunger did not stop. Buhari came. I spoke to power. Spoke to power. Buhari spent 8 years. Nobody said one thing. I didn't remember any rally. I didn't remember during Buhari's regime. Buhari did all he had to do. When I left office, dollar was less than 300. And when you look at the ratio when Buhari was leaving, it has gone up. Nobody held Buhari to ransom until the day he left. Nobody. The simple reason is this: a gentleman and a man who does not talk. When you go out, look at what they went to do at Lekki. I want to appeal to all of us. Let us be very, very careful.
So, I mean, when you just apologies, Governor Fayose, to Bodin. There are those who believe that in the last 1 year, our nation is not on the right trajectory. The APC will defend the government of the day to say they are taking tough decisions. In fact, the President Bola Tinubu earlier on, in some of the earlier speeches that he made, he had warned that he's going to take some very tough decisions. These policies will be sometimes painful, like the pains of childbirth. A lot of people will remember those statements. But there are those who say, look, this pain is getting too much. You look at the price of commodities. They are really, these are the things that pertain to the average person. The price of gari, the price of agbado, the price of momo, the price of tomato in the market. These are the things that pertain to the average and the poor of our nation. And you are saying they should be calm. How calm could they be? How else could they express themselves when they say they're going to the streets to demand good governance in their country, Governor Fayose?
So I'm not saying people should not go and protest. Protest is legitimate. But just before I go to this issue of protest, there is no man, I said again, I speak for myself. I'm not a member of their party. I will never be a member of APC. If I don't do politics again, I will stay in my house. Which man can turn this country around in 1 year, Sheon? Let us leave APC, PDP. Sheon, which man?
But are they doing the right thing? I agree that they may not be able to turn it around in 1 year. Yes, magic is not, governance is not magic. But the question is that if they're on the right track, wouldn't everyone know, Governor Fayose?
Sheon, may I say to you, I am not going to be here to watch pray for anybody. The moment your finances are so bad, it is difficult to pick them from the dustbin. Today, it is not easy to return Nigeria to the original or turn around the situation so easily, and I mean what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if we protest. It's good to protest. When you protest, you come back to find the situation the same. That was what I was going to talk about. A Jonathan is not good, a Buhari is not good, and Asiwaju is not good. Then there is a fundamental problem we all have to address. This is beyond an Asiwaju or Tinubu to come and do miracle. Then Jonathan was said to be the worst leader Nigeria ever had. A Buhari was then the worst of the worst. Then an Asiwaju is the worst. I mean, then we have to invite God from heaven to come and turn around things. So I have been on the saddle for 8 years. When the labor leaders in Ekiti, when they were asking me, when it was impossible, they went on strike. I explained. When I couldn't explain, I joined them in the strike. I had to join them. Every allocation that comes, I give it to them. Go and appropriate. People can go to the street, but don't let those that will hijack this protest turn it to where people will now imagine you want to take government from Asiwaju. The perception now is there that is a coup.
Really? Is that what is going on?
That is the perception everywhere. That now they are giving an impression that they want to use this coup for military to come in. If you are not hearing things, we're on the ground. We are ears to the ground. And there's no government that will allow them to come and torpedo his own government. It is good that Asiwaju himself had admitted that protest is good. But the people protesting should remember the consequences if the way they are politicizing it. In Kenya is a small country. There's no Muslim-Christian dichotomy there. There's no North-South dichotomy. If people are copying Kenya, they must be careful. Then a lot of people having business, we call it watch out, before they start looting. It happened in South Africa before. The consequences of a celebrated issues like this may end up in people beginning to imagine that there's a coup, or they want to plan a coup, and there's no leader that will allow himself, his leadership to be taken by force.
I mean, if there are coup mongers in our country today, one will think that that's an archaic, that's a very bizarre.
You cannot tell the wicked man how he's going to go about it.
We are too civilized in this country of today, the modern Nigeria, for any military man to think that the right thing to do is to torpedo a government after 20-something years of us returning to this Fourth Republic. I mean, what would make any right-thinking military man think that he will want to take over power? Does that make sense?
The military has not said they want to take over power, and we have not seen signs. But when people begin to take steps, begin to do things that is suggestive of a system that wants to take power from a legitimate government, Nigeria cannot go back home. I feel sad that things are not easy for us, but this is not an option. Rally, protest, fantastic. But you know people, the moment they get on the street, it will be a different story. No government will fold its arms and allow looting. No government will allow itself for people to take over the whole system of their hands.
But Governor Fayose, does this government look like they are listening? Is this government listening to the people?
So let me answer you this way. Can you start to cook rice and it will be done in one day? Even this Dangote thing last week when I came on the phone, when I came on this your program, I told you I heard somewhere they were trying to bomb Dangote refinery. And I said that the Kaaba are planning to make sure that this Dangote business refinery does not succeed. Is that Ashiwaju? Is that government? And they are collecting money at the point of loading. They are threatening the man. It was 2-3 days after everybody started speaking up. So we can't blame government alone. Majority of Nigerians, if you give them opportunity, they will build the company and make money. Ashiwaju will not go and carry gun. He will not carry gun to be police. He will not carry gun to stop people taking oil. And Nigeria is a very difficult country to govern. We all know that. If a man is to spend 4 years, give him a mid-term. Give him a mid-term. That is my view. The little they can do couldn't have been sufficient enough right now for anybody to say you must bring down that government. Because there must be a motive. There must be a motive. You must be guided.
Governor Fayose, what would you say? It's a difficult time in the country today. And there are a lot of people, perhaps, who don't even have hope of what to eat tonight. As your final word on the program, what would you say is a way forward? What do you think the government should do to alleviate the suffering of the many, many millions of Nigerians who tonight are looking for hope?
Let me say this. Maybe this will now be a better way to represent my mind. I went to one state in the north, and I don't want to mention the name of that state. I was there for 3 days. In the course of my stay, I got familiar with people in that part of the government house that I stayed. So I sat outside and we started speaking to 1 or 2 people. And the gate man told me, he said, how long have you been in government work? He said he has spent 26 years. So I said, good. What is your salary? He said, Mikida, Kudi small. I said, how much? He said, it's 34,000. I said, how many children do you have? He said, he has 16. How many wives? He says 4. My brother, problem is inside, you see? For God's sake. If somebody is earning 35,000, what can government do with 17 children? We don't want to be realistic. Another person said he has 8 children, 3 wives, and one of his wives is still expecting. They don't have to be done with our people too. Because when you have children, you go into government. A government that is struggling to survive. It's difficult. When you're asking me, what will I say to them? What will I say to a man who has 17 wives?
All right.